Manley has been one heck of an experience, and now it's finally coming to an end. That's right, folks, the last lines to open, the National Rail lines. These lines will be the West Coast Line, the Great Midland Main Line, and the Beckstow Rail Link. Very exciting. But before we go and review these lines, let's have a look at where these lines will be serving. So here is our usual map of Manley, and let's start with the first of the National Rail lines to open, and this was the Great Midland Line. This opened shortly after the City Line when the Stanton area was being developed. This line goes from the southeast corner of Manley in Barrington, over here, to the north centre at Manley Victoria. The next line to open after this was the West Coast Line. This went from the southwest corner of Manley in Marketworth, over here, to the north centre at Manley Victoria. This opened shortly before the tram line. And our final line is the Beckstow Rail Link, which is the most recently opened line in the city. This is an east-west line in the north of the city connecting the two northernmost corners of Manley. This is Aylesmore and Beckstow. You can quite easily see this on the map. But now let's dive into the actual review of the lines, starting with the Great Midland Line. Now, the Great Midland Line is part of a much larger line which eventually joins up to a main line a few miles south before continuing onwards to other cities. These cities I can't name because, yeah. The Manley part, however, starts here, at a one-way station with a limited service in Barrington Vale. Now here I am at beautiful Barrington Vale, which is served by the Castle Line, which you may have seen in one of my opening videos. Check this video out here. Now, as this station is one way, it features very limited facilities. Only really a ticket machine and a shelter. There's not any barriers or anything, it's simply just that. It's got a very simple shelter on the platform level as well, with also very limited facilities up here too. Shortly after that, the line crawls over Ashwell High Street just here, before it pulls into Spitfire Square. Spitfire Square is actually the most used station on this whole part of the line. It has loads of interchanges, one with the Castle Line, one with the Regent Line, and also gets loads of trains. This station is substantially larger than the previous. It's got two platforms for starters. It also has a waiting room, making it the only station in Manley to have one. It's got two entrances, one on this part of the road just here, and another one outside of the square just here. It's got way more facilities, and you can't forget about the beautiful bridge which the trains go over. Afterwards, the line then goes over the River Iver just here, before crawling over this bridge which goes over Beckstow Central station. Then it goes over a slight turn before pulling into Stanton station just here. Stanton station has an interchange with the Northmore line as seen here. The station also features two 1980s style platforms which have extremely unique benches as seen here and here. The entrance, however, is of Victorian design and is reminiscent of its original station. The station is used quite a lot due to it being very close to the Haddenham Street bus station just here, which is known for its unique design. After Stanton, it's simply a straight line into Manley Victoria, which is our final station on this route. This is the one and only interchange with the West Coast Line as seen here. It's also the biggest station in Manley and it's a really nice one to be at. And that brings us on to our next line. Now, this line immediately sticks out because the trains have to make a U-turn when leaving the station. This is because these trains need to head towards the west, and Victoria is east-facing as you can see. The trains make a full turn before going over the main road and pulling into General Station, parallel to the River Iver. It seems like quite a little station on the surface, but it actually gets bigger the further down you go. For starters, it has an interchange with the Northmore line. It also has three entrances, one here, and also one here. This makes the station very accessible. It is, however, a right pain when trying to interchange. If you're trying to interchange from the National Rail up there to the Northmore line down here, you have to literally tap out through these before tapping back in again. Awful. After leaving the rather small yet also massive General Station, the railway takes a turn past Regent Street before passing the River Iver on Manley's only viaduct. It's honestly really pretty to look at and is actually a very nice viaduct. After weaving around the Riverside area, the trains pull into Crondall Central just here. Now, this station acts as a massive interchange with the trams, as there's 3 tram lines and it's all in a big tram station located right underneath the actual station here. Sadly, when the tram station built underneath was built, it removed the 2 entrances that were originally here, thus meaning that 2 separate ones had to be built instead, one on this side and the other one over here. These are connected by an underground passageway. Finally, it's one of the shortest distance between stops, right over a bridge and into the next station, And also the last one, Marketworth. Marketworth is arguably one of the nicest stations on the network. It features an interchange of the Northmoor and King's lines, and also the tram lines, and it also looks really nice. It also has this extra platform here for some services. And as it's getting dark, last but not least, the Beckstow Rail Link. Welcome to the Beckstow Rail Link. This is a rail line which is built using old tracks in the 1990s. However, the line was restored recently, but it still uses its old Class 313 units. The line stretches in a dead straight line from here in Aylesmore to Beckstow over there. Although not having that many trains on the line, it's still a very useful link and is used by many passengers. Here at beautiful Aylesmore, you are greeted with a lovely restored station with many platforms. On the left here, you have the Beckstow Rail Link platforms, whilst on the right, you have the Northmoor line platforms. After a rather slow departure going under the bridge, the trains then go over the hill, passing over where there used to be an old station here at Northern Fields. From here at Aylesmore to North Stanton station just here is the longest distance between two stops in Manley, and that's saying something. Now, due to North Stanton being tucked away behind a load of buildings, it's not used very well, and this makes it the least used station in the entire city. I'm kind of not surprised. The station is also very close to the normal Stanton over here, which also sees direct trains to Aylesmore. The station is, however, the only station in Manley to boast a level crossing, as seen here. And using the power of magic, it does actually work. The station feels highly industrial and is probably only used by passengers who are using the nearby warehouses. It is also quite close to the bus station, so I guess that could also be quite useful. After this, the line goes up the Beckstow incline before pulling into Beckstow Town Station. This was a very cheap station and was built basically as an interchange with the nearby Beckstow Central station, which is literally just across the road. Although being cheap, it does have everything you'd expect from this kind of station. After this, the line goes over this magnificent bridge which curves over two roads and also sneaks past this castle on the hill just here. After this lovely curve, it pulls into Beckstow Riverside station, which is the final stop. Now, this station is easily one of my favourites. I like the way it's laid out with its entrance and architecture, and for some reason it has this really nice feel of tranquility about it. The lack of modern facilities, plus the signs and the general atmosphere make the station feel like it's lost in time. Anyways, also a very nice station, and you might even recognise it from some of my videos, because I did show it in a couple. Now, I may like this station, but what better way to finish off by asking someone who I have no relation with whatsoever. What do you think?
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市的设置。
Now, that told me absolutely nothing about the line itself, but I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.